Kia ora koutou, welcome to my video today. In the spirit of this month's book club picks, which if you haven't seen our video, my sister this week is reading on my recommendation an Agatha Christie novel. Very excited for her to read her first Agatha Christie. Now, I am ashamed to admit that I have only read Bar and Then There Were None. All the other Agatha Christie books I've read are all Hercule Poirot books. Not surprising, these are her most popular, I believe, but I really feel like Miss Marple would be more my jam, and I actually bought my first Miss Marple this year, and I'm going to be reading this very soon, so I'm very excited for that. But in the meantime, here I go ranking all the Hercule Poirot books I've read by Agatha Christie. It's not a lot, considering how many books she has. If you did not know already, Agatha Christie was RIP, a crime detective novel, mystery novel writer. She wrote from pretty much from the First World War up until, I think, pretty much until she died, which was in the 70s. She is best known for like the Murder on the Orient Express, which maybe you've seen one of the movies. The most recent movie is so bad, don't watch it. Just read the book. The book is great. The movie, that latest movie that came out, is really bad, and I hate that because there were so many good actors and actresses on it, but like, avoid. If you've heard of the play The Mousetrap, which is like the longest running play on the West End, that was from one of her books. She is just really, really good at mystery novels, detective novels, all that sort of thing. She's on all the lists. If you're looking at like the best crime novels, the best mystery novels, her books are always somewhere there. So let's get to my rankings. Coming in at number 6 on my rankings is Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Now, I'll be honest, this is mainly because I completely forgot what this was about, which, I mean, I feel like kind of speaks to that a little bit. I mean, I forget a lot of books, but like, yeah, of all the Hercule Poirot books, I really struggled to remember what this one was actually about. So, despite me forgetting what it was about, and therefore ranking it the lowest, this is still a pretty good book. It is about a family that comes together at Christmas time, all visiting their dad. The dad is killed, unknowingly, unsuspectingly found murdered in his room, and a lot of people, we realize that a lot of the family all have a lot of reasons to want to kill their dad. So, you know, classic setup, lots of different motives, so lots of potential suspects. Yeah, pretty good. Coming in at number 5 is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. So this is actually the very first book in this entire series. It is Agatha Christie's first debut novel, I believe, and like she smashed it out the park straight away. She caught a lot of people's attention with it. It's a really good setup to introduce you to Hercule Poirot. The story is pretty good. And yeah, it's a great start to the whole Hercule Poirot series. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, like I'm pronouncing it the same way I'm pronouncing it right now for the entire video, so I apologize if that is grating at you every single time because I'm getting it wrong. I'm sorry. It is set at the Styles mansion. It's very English. If I didn't mention, Agatha Christie is an English-British writer. So, you know, classic English gardens and fancy mansion and lots of different important people and secrets, and yeah, it's good. It's a good time. To sort of literally bookend that, coming in at number 4, I have Curtain, which is the very last book in the Hercule Poirot series, and it is set at Styles again, so it's the exact same setting as the very first book. It's like, it's really good. I really enjoyed this. I remember quite a few of the different red herrings and tricks and, you know, just the different stuff. So Hercule Poirot has a number of different sort of assistants throughout the series, and one of them, Hastings, who was in the first book, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. He and Hercule Poirot are both back in this book, back together. This is them coming back to the same place that they solved their first murder together, and so it's a really nice way to close off the series. There is a number of different people who have been brought together. Hercule has, from the outset, orchestrated this stay at Styles with these people because he believes that there is a murderer amongst them, and he is determined to catch them. I really like this because not only is it just a great dramatic ending, but it also, in terms of the killer, without revealing too much, and to be honest, you could say this of all her books, so maybe it's revealing absolutely nothing, but it really looks into the psychology behind people and their motivations and all that type of thing, and the persuasion of others and all that sort of thing. Really, really interesting stuff. So that comes in at number 4. Number 3 is with my sister right now. I don't have the copy, but it is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. This is has been named one of the best mystery novels of all time, sometimes by some people, and I would have to agree, it's pretty good. The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is about a widow who is planning to marry Roger Ackroyd. She actually dies first in the story, and then within the story Roger Ackroyd dies, and Hercule Poirot is actually around, as always he is, and it becomes about solving that murder, specifically very locked door room kind of murder, kind of similar to Hercule Poirot's Christmas. Lots of blackmail, lots of clues, one of those ones where you've got a real abundance of information, and you're really trying to sift through and figure out who did it, but it has one of the best endings of any mystery novel. It can be considered controversial, but it's outstanding, and I think it's pretty good consensus that this is, one of her absolute, if not the best book. It's not my personal favorite, but in terms of the skill of the plot and everything, it's really, really spectacular. So second on my list is Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. It is one of her most famous for a reason. It is good. It is got the really lovely thriller vibe of the fact that this book is set on a train. The train gets stuck in the snow and is stuck, and basically during the night someone is murdered. Hercule Poirot is on this train, and so they all know that a murder is amongst them because no one could have feasibly got off the train or on the train. They're standing right next to you, they're sitting eating lunch with you, the murderer is here. Who is it? And another reason why I really love this book, and you'll see why I like the one I've ranked number 1 as well, it's set out in a really lovely way. So it's put into 3 different parts. So part 1, the facts; part 2, the evidence; part 3, Hercule Poirot sits back and thinks. So we have start off with all the different facts of what went on, including what Hercule Poirot experienced himself with this. He was there when this murder happened on the train. And then the evidence part, the second part, is interviewing all the different people. So what I love about that is you're getting to relive and have 1,000 different versions of what happened over and over. And for me, who finds it quite hard to keep, wait, so what happened? The books like this, which go over it again and again and again in detail, albeit through different people, but still you're going over the specific event over and over, makes it really, really interesting and a lot easier for me to try and figure out who done it. This is really, really good. Once again, do not watch that latest movie, not worth it. One of the older ones might be worth it, or just read the book. It's very, very good. It's not that long either. It's under 300 pages. It's not too long. This is a really good book. Again, kind of like Murder of Roger Ackroyd, very, very good ending, great twist at the end, So yeah, highly recommend. So my number one of my Agatha Christie books I've read is Five Little Pigs. So this one is actually a cold case. So there is a woman whose mother was arrested and convicted of murdering her husband, this woman's father. And she gets a letter when she turns 21 from her mother, basically saying, hey, like, I was always innocent. Please know that I did not kill your father, yada yada. And so it's been, 21 years or 18 years, some long amount of years. 16 in particular. So it's a cold case from 16 years ago that this daughter wants to reopen the murder of her father, and she goes to Hercule Poirot to do this. So once again, why I really like this, it's very similar to the Murder on the Orient Express, where he goes round, he talks to all the lawyers that were involved with the case, he talks to every single suspect, and it's put in this way of the Five Little Pigs. So the chapters are literally called like this little pig went to market, this little pig ran home, and so you've got these 5 very particular suspects, which all have their different motivations, their different access to being the ones who could have completed the murder. So once again, you're getting 5 different reiterations of what happened the weekend the father died, and it really lets you try really hard, gives you a really good go at figuring out who done it. I still didn't figure it out, but it is very good. There's a few less key players. A lot of Agatha Christie's books, there's quite a lot of characters and things. This one, because it's called the Five Little Pigs, it's a little bit simpler. Another reason I really like this is it's just a really interesting look at marriage and affairs and all that kind of thing. That's not a spoiler, it's set out pretty early in the book that the reason why they think the wife killed her husband is because he was having an affair with this younger girl. He was a painter, this girl was his muse, like a very classic story, and the wife kind of has to put up with this public humiliation. That's kind of quite interesting to dig into. Overall, it's just really good, and once again, a really surprise ending. Like, she's a master at leading you down the wrong path, but she never lies. She's always giving you all the information. She's giving you everything that Hercule Poirot also has, and she still manages to sort of defy being able to figure out who the killer is. It's very, very interesting. So that is my ranking of all the Hercule Poirot books I have read. I highly recommend you check one of them out. If you're going to check any of them out, I would obviously biasly say check out Five Little Pigs. Give it a go. They're nice and short, they're very simply written, but incredibly complex in terms of setting up all the clues and the motivations and all those little things that we have to consider and put together when trying to figure out who committed a murder.